Hey, Shalom, Sister Kate here. Today's video, I wanted to talk to you about deadly force. I know I did another video on force, and that force was different. That was like work force applied to getting things done. This, I'm talking about deadly force. What gives me the right, not really the right, but like the capability, why can I talk about it? Because I was an NRA certified firearms instructor for 5 years, and I've been a private firearms instructor for another like 20. So I have had some training in these type of situations. So what am I going to tell you? I'm going to tell you that deadly force is different in every state. That laws in one state may say you are allowed to use deadly force to protect your property. Some states require that you not only are not like in your yard having some altercation, but that you retreat into your house, to the back of your house, behind a closed door, before you can even think about using some sort of force. So you need to know what your state's laws are. And one way of finding that out is to go to a CCW class if your state has one, because those laws will be part of that training. They will teach them to you. If you don't have that training in your area, then I'm going to urge you, I'm going to let you know as a firearms owner that you are responsible for knowing what those laws are. Go to your state's website and look it up. It's important. It's important to know where your guidelines are. And as a responsible firearms owner, you should know that stuff. Now, I'm going to go over my knowledge of deadly force and what I was taught and what I was taught to teach others. And it's going to be general. It's not going to be specific. So you cannot take what I say and say, oh, Sister Kate said this, so it must be okay. I am not saying that. I am saying I'm going to give you generalities, and then you have to get the information for your state to apply them to your own situation. Okay, so here it is. There are 3 things that are required for use of deadly force. The first one is intent. The person who is, let's say you're at a football game and they are 90 yards away, and you can't tell if that person has a firearm or a weapon or anything on them, and they're just down there. You cannot then pull out a firearm and shoot that person because you thought they were going to do you bodily harm. Doesn't matter what they look like. They have to express an intent to harm you. And expressing that intent could be charging at you or yelling at you or whatever, but they have to indicate that they want to do you grievous bodily harm. Okay, that's 1, intent. 2 is proximity. They have to be able to carry out a threat. So if that person 90 yards down the football field is armed with a club and is yelling down there, you know, fill in a football team name here, you fan of whatever, I'm going to come kill you. I'm going to kick your rear end. He cannot carry out that threat. He's not close enough. They have to have proximity. They have to be within a distance that they can carry out that threat. And for some things like a knife, that's 15 yards or 15 feet. For a firearm, obviously, it's much farther. But it's got to be there. So that's 2. And 3 is capability. They have to, if they've expressed an intent, like me, let's pretend we're at a football game and I see you and you're a 250-pound guy and you're 6'2", and I say, I'm going to kill you. You whatever fan, I'm tired of this stuff. I do not have the capability with my own bare hands to kill a 6'2", 250-pound guy. Sorry, I mean, I'm strong, I'm old lady strong, but I'm not near strong enough to do something like that. So I don't have the capability to carry out my threat. So he is not justified in doing grievous bodily harm to me if I'm not capable. What he probably needs to do is just put a hand on my forehead and hold me at arm's distance and call the cops and have me arrested for being a crazy old lady. But I do not have capability there. Now, I may have capability if I were armed. If I'm armed and I'm close enough and I'm yelling this stuff at him, then he can defend himself legally. I'm not saying it's the same thing as, you know, bar fights and man fights and, you know, you talked about my car and I didn't like it and we got into a fist fight over it, and guys understand that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a legal situation here. So you need those three things. You need intent, you need to be close enough proximity, and you need capability to carry them out. And if you don't, then you cannot use deadly force. Now let's turn it around, and I'm going to do this quickly because I've been talking for a while, but let's turn it around onto some of the shootings that have happened in our country lately. I don't know what it is for LEO officers, law enforcement officers. I don't know if they have different laws that say if they think someone is going to do them grievous bodily harm, then they're allowed to take action. And if you're a law enforcement officer, please comment on this. It seems like they are taking the law into their own hands when they, let's say you're the mentally ill person out in the middle of a road and your psychiatrist is out there trying to help you and neither one of you is armed with anything. The fact that one of those people was shot, that does not meet the criteria for grievous bodily harm, deadly force type shooting. But I don't know what else was in play there. Like, are they blocking a road? Is it causing a problem? Have they been instructed several times? How many times do the police have to tell you you need to move before they can take an action? And what are the steps those actions come in? I don't know if they're allowed to go straight to, a deadly force thing, or if they have to go through the verbal command and then try a physical command and then, go to some sort of, I won't say weapon, but some sort of, like, they have their tear gas or they have their nightstick or whatever. I don't know the way that works, but it seems to me that people are being denied their right. They're supposed to be arrested and you're supposed to be able to have a trial. So that's just my perception of it. I don't know. What do you think? I'd love your comments and your feedback. All right, shalom, bless you.